This brief video is about the predictive astrology of 2017. I just want to, as it were, draw a brief map of the terrain ahead, and I'll be making separate videos about the different bits of that predictive astrology. So the purpose of this video is just to give you an idea of what's coming. And then you can have a reading where I say what it'll mean for you by relating it to your chart. You can join either of my foundation courses in Vedic Astrology or Western Astrology and learn all about it. They're very, very caringly supported by me. You get wonderful resources. And I do an advanced course, for someone who knows a bit, about prediction. So the website addresses are down there beneath the video and in the associated blog. So what are the big events of 2017? Well, I think the biggest single event is the transit of Saturn. Saturn started 2017 at the end of Vedic Scorpio. And on the 26th of January, in a few days' time, in fact, Saturn will cross into Vedic Sagittarius. That crossing is at about 24 Western Sagittarius. And the thing is, the gap, the crossing from Scorpio, Vedic Scorpio to Vedic Sagittarius is one of the three great Gandanta zones where water signs dissolve and we experience a void. And then when the first flicker of fire occurs, a fire sign starts. And Saturn will cross that 3 times. I've got the dates here. And so it's the 26th of January, the 21st of June, and the 26th of October. Now, if you have a planet in that crossing point, you have what's called a Gandanta planet. As I said, there are 3 Gandanta zones. The other Gandanta zones are Pisces, Aries, and Cancer, Leo. And basically, if you have a planet there, you really need to talk to me to do one of my courses or have a reading, because the planet's manifestation is in some ways made very problematic. You need to understand what it means. I've got people writing into me now that I'm working with on courses or readings, who have Sun in this Gandanta zone. And they're having such a sort of weird time. And so it's very important to be able to hear from me how long it'll last and how to manage it. You see, basically, if you have Sun, the ruler of your birth chart, on whose strength you depend in a Gandanta zone, its strength has in some ways been gutted. Maybe your father wasn't there for you. And when Lord Shani, Saturn, Lord of Karma, goes across it, you'll feel very disorientated. But there's a divine purpose here of learning Saturn's lessons of discipline, fortitude, strengthening yourself, being patient and taking time, managing your mind as the 3 crossings occur. You see, when Saturn goes over Sun, for example, it can either manifest as professional downfall, pessimism and illness, or golden reaping. And that's what I try and support you in. When the moon's in the Gandanta zone, that means mother is not there for you. And, that's a terribly difficult thing. You can do something about Sun in the Gandanta zone, but if you have a moon in the Gandanta zone, you have to learn to live with it. It can be called a curse, but you don't want to be cursed. You learn how to live with the whole endless, unstoppable ramifications of mother not being there for you. Obviously I could go on at this length, but I'm trying to give a general picture. And so basically Saturn moves from the last nakshatra, the last lunar sign in Scorpio, to the first nakshatra, the first lunar sign in Sagittarius, from Jyesta nakshatra to Mula nakshatra. And I do separate videos about those to help you understand this time 3 times this year. And they're very tough nakshatras. Just putting it very simply, Jyesta is about the elder. The ruling deity is the great god Indra. And so, Saturn will, be grinding away at our scripts so that we actually manifest the gifts of that God. But then when Saturn crosses into Sagittarius, well, there's a great change in what's called the gunas. And so from a more tamas sort of life, where, orientated to materiality and success and responsibility, when Saturn is in Scorpio, it moves into a sattva realm, understanding spirituality. It's quite disorientating for people who are very materialistic. And the ruling deity of the new nakshatra Saturn will enter, Mula, is quite horrific in her energy. Niriti, the goddess of death and destruction, her family members have names like Calamity. But that is because you're being called to look at your scripts in a very confronting way and find the spiritual meaning in your life. Again, you need help, because the Western culture doesn't know anything of this. And yet it's so valuable to combine Western psychodynamic astrology, Western evolutionary astrology, with this supreme declaration of Vedic astrology. And there's not just one Gandanta crossing in 2017. Exceptionally, there's 3 outer planet Gandanta crossings. And so we come on to the next one, Uranus. Now, Uranus crosses the Pisces-Aries Gandanta. And it does that 4 times. 28th of June 2016, 31st of August 2016, 8th of April 2017, and, stationing on it, the 2nd of January 2018. Now, in fact, Maggie and I both have our moons in this Gandanta zone, and our lives have been revolutionised by Uranus, earthquake revolution. Uranus is heartless and driven. He's the great god of change. He entered the Western consciousness at the time of revolution in Europe and America. And revolution is needed and revolution is good, but you have to learn about how to handle it, how to perceive it. But there's a big twist to this tale. Uranus clearly enters Vedic Aries, and the big twist to the tale is this. Uranus's orbit is 84 years. 84 years ago, when Uranus entered Vedic Aries, it saw the rise of Adolf Hitler, the burning of the Reichstag and World War. It's a terrible energy for humanity to manage. We need revolution, we need Uranus in Aries, but we don't need a lower consciousness reception of it. And we hope our politicians won't embrace that. Okay, and the third Gandanta crossing is Mars and Rahu, the North Node. What a combination of the warrior and, the driven serpent energy. And they combine on the 21st of August 2017 for really quite a dreadful eclipse, where the first time in living memory the eclipse is visible all across America. And weirdly, it's right on the ascendant of the new American president, Donald Trump. Now, I've been doing eclipse predictions for years, and when people have eclipses on their ascendant, something very big and something very difficult is going to happen to them. And, if you have planets near there, and I've just done a reading for a client who has, you can expect, we can all expect a difficult time at the time of the eclipse, but you can expect a really big change coming in. And again, join one of my courses, my mini courses, or have a reading to learn about this. Okay, what else? Well, basically there were 4 eclipses in 2017. February the 11th, lunar eclipse. February the 26th, solar eclipse. August the 7th, lunar eclipse. And August the 21st, the great solar eclipse I've been talking about. And also some older eclipse points will be activated by the transits of planets, and you need to know about that. There's just 3 other points I'll quickly mention to give you this map of the astrology of 2017. The first is that there is a Jupiter-Uranus opposition in the heavens. I've just told you where Uranus is in the Pisces-Aries Gandanta, from Vedic Pisces to Vedic Aries. And Jupiter is exactly opposite it. Now, that can bring great good fortune, but it's an opposition. It's not such an easy, thank the Lord, breakthrough, but it can bring it. And you need to sort of look at how that will work out in your astrology and in your life. You know, what's happening in your life overall? What sort of strategies do you need to pursue to be able to embrace that blissful breakthrough? So that you're doing the right things in your life to prepare yourself for it, not doing the wrong things. The penultimate issue is Venus. Venus is in his sign of exaltation from the 28th of January 2017 to the 1st of June, in Vedic Pisces, and that will be a great energy for the world. More about that. And Venus has a retrograde during that period from the 5th of March 2017 to the 16th of April 2017. And that won't be as problematic as many retrogrades because Venus is in exaltation. It could be good for love. We'll look within about the way we're handling love issues, relationships, love scripts in our life. And of course, it'll also be good for money. And then if you combine that to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, you can work towards career success at this time. Lastly, the fifth and final big feature of Astrology 2017 I'd pick out is Kal Sarpa Yoga. Kal Sarpa Yoga was when all the planets are to one side of the nodal axis. And it was with us big time last year in 2016. And politically, it was marked by Brexit and the rise of Donald Trump. And by weird coincidence, or is it coincidence, he's actually in Donald Trump's birth charts. It's a very divisive energy, all the planets on one side. It scapegoats, it projects. It's quite violent and it's ranting. Indeed, if you have a baby born in that period, you need to know the baby has Kal Sarpa Yoga in the birth chart and bring it up caringly and lovingly so that the ranting divisiveness is dealt with young and helped. Now, I just want to say about Kal Sarpa Yoga, clearly the moon goes right round the chart in every month. So half the month, the moon is on the other side of the Kal Sarpa, on the other side of the nodal axis, on its own. And that's difficult in itself because the moon is unsupported. And so we really have to watch our mind games and what paranoias it's leading us into, what rages, what pessimisms or whatever. Management of the mind is important in Kal Sarpa Yoga. Now, the important thing is Kal Sarpa Yoga comes back. Kal Sarpa Yoga comes back at the time of the great eclipse on the 21st of August. In fact, so it was here from the 29th of September 2016 until the 20th of January 2017. I think that's yesterday. But it re-arises on the 17th of September 2017 and runs to the 8th of January 2018. And it will continue on and off, in fact, until the 14th of December 2019, when at last one of the great outer planets swings round in its orbit, crosses the nodal axis, and you no longer have all planets one side, and the divisive energy has finally gone. This is the divine unfoldment that we as humanity are being offered to work with in 2017. Get in touch with me for a reading. Get in touch with me to roll on one of my foundation courses, Western or Vedic, or my specialist prediction course. It is so helpful to have this perception, this timing, this interpretation, and interpretation that is geared to healing and empowerment, not just to the statement of formula. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.